Welcome to Elks 101. Another episode of ElksCentral, breaking this one down.
Rankin, touchdown Edmonton! Fajardo, Dunbar, back on top go the Elks!
All right, ElksCentral. One final time this iteration, breaking down week 21, Stamps and Elks. You know what I was just thinking during that intro? I was like, man, there might be some names in that intro that aren't there next year. Might have to update that intro. I could be wrong, but man,
sick intro though.
Listen, Declan, Eddie, Pat here with you for this one. ElksCentral, October 25th, breaking down week 21, Stamps and Elks. Like I said, that game sucked. That game was so forgettable. I've watched a lot of football in my life. I don't know. I'm not a math guy, so I'm sure it's not in the millions. But we're talking thousands. I've watched thousands of football games in my life. That one was honestly, it felt like it was one of the top 10 most forgettable.
It stunk and you're here for the truth.
Dude, it was just like, this was my kind of initial take on the game before we really get into things and like break things down. It was kind of like no one on the and listen, I want to give the Elks this credit. They were super injured. Like going into the week, they had so many guys out. I mean, Brinkman, Boyko, Anderson, he's been hurt. Niles, he's been hurt.
But last game of the year, too. So
the list was rife with guys who were hurt. And then they got hurt during the game. Like Joel left the game with a hand injury. Cordell left the game. Like we had backups we didn't even know existed playing
this one.
Not to mention
the guys that they just wanted up to get a look at, even the backups.
Exactly. But all that said, it was kind of like they were half playing for jobs, like they cared, half playing like they conceded the game before it kicked off. Like it was just weirdly like they didn't have any effort, but then they felt like they needed to have effort, so they showed some a little bit. Like it was just all over the place. And like the final product, you saw it. I mean, 9 penalties for 112 yards, under 40 rushing yards. Cody had a decent looking stat line, I guess, but wasn't really impactful in the passing game. Like it was just such a forgettable kind of nothing game. And I was surprised because this was a game. I mean, they did start like as good of a lineup as they could. They really didn't give a lot of backups that many looks, just in terms of kind of giving them looks. And you got to assume Coach Killam wanted this one because this was obviously his old team there for 20 seasons. He was 1-1 in the season against Calgary. He would have liked to play spoiler for them a little bit. He would have liked to win the season series against his old club at home, I should say, final game. And they just didn't come out like that at all.
No, they didn't come out. It was kind of surprising, but like you said, not surprising, just considering the circumstances. I've been there. You never want to use the term a nothing game, but because there are no nothing games in football. Everything is a competition. You're always competing for the job. But, man, in certain circumstances, you're just trying to survive through this game, not get hurt, get to your off season, not get hurt. And we'll touch on this later. Probably a reason why they didn't even play number 2 Trey Ford in the game.
Dude, if I was Trey and I was in that game, I'm faking an injury second play so they can't cut my ass.
Just to get the money.
Yeah, I'm getting my bonus. Hey, I'm faking an injury so they can't cut me.
Hey,
Coach, I'm pulling a Terry Rozier.
I'm not mad at
my
it.
Coach.
Darian Durant, man. Notorious.
Yeah.
Sign with Winnipeg, get that $70K signing bonus, and peace.
That's my goat.
All players wish they could do it. I'll stand on the fence and say it. Like, all players wish they could do it. But
dude, people will still tweet at Darian Durant and be like, "Do you feel bad for robbing Winnipeg?" And he'll be like, "No."
I kind of got into it like about a month ago with someone who brought it up online, actually. But because they do it, teams do it to players all the time. All the time. Every offseason, there's going to be around 20 guys who get cut within 48 hours of their offseason bonus. So Darian Durant, hats off. Get that signing bonus and peace out, man.
Yep.
One for the players.
As far as the actual game went, like it kind of felt to me like they didn't. This is kind of what I felt like watching the game. Like the game plan seemed to be run the ball, and then immediately they felt like they couldn't run the ball, and it almost felt like they didn't really have a backup plan to go to in the passing game. Do you know what Justin Rankin's stat line in this one was?
9 attempts for 1 yard.
9 attempts for 1 yard.
Bro, you talk about
his longest was 6. And actually, at the end of the first quarter, I think, or very early in the second quarter, his stat line was 6 carries for 2 yards. So the rest of the game, the other 3 quarters or 2 3/4 quarters, he went 3 carries for -1 yard.
Ed Hervey, my former GM, go find some offensive line talent, because at this point, you guys are never going to be able to run the ball. When they bring in another offensive lineman, a sixth in the game, acting as a fullback, it is so telegraphed, Deck. Every time you bring an extra O lineman in the game to run the rock, it was something that they got into doing last year under Chris Jones and Jarius Jackson's offense, just to try and generate some momentum, and they were really good with it. Well, this year they went to the well too much, and it's so predictable because if you're not running it, you're wasting a guy out there, because you're not, which they actually did this year, which was shocking. They had him leak out for a pass.
Yep.
It's an offensive lineman, so you know he's in the game for one reason.
Yep.
That's to run block. It's silly. It's stupid. And if you guys can't start running the ball without bringing an extra lineman in, just with your 5 down linemen, you're hooped. You can't go anywhere.
Dude, it was funny because Filip Grahovac, he was the guy who was backup right guard, and he was often in those packages as like the tight end, fullback, up back. And then they cut him. And I was kind of thinking, like, I wonder if this is the end of that extra lineman in there. Because the one guy who was kind of your specialist for those packages, you cut him. It wasn't really, working out when you were running those plays. And then they kind of go back to the well and keep doing it. And we're just like, is this really?
They use Gregor. They put Gregor there.
Is this really, the best game plan for running the ball? And, clearly it's not. That's evidenced by the stat line. I think Jordan Maksimic has been fine as a play caller. I think conservative is a word a lot of people would use to describe him. But I think overall, I haven't been too mad at him. I feel like he kind of had to build an offense for Trey Ford and then switch that based on Cody's skill. And you, as an offensive coordinator, you have different sets you're going to run. It's not like everything was going to be a read option or an RPO out of a shotgun formation. You had other things, but I'm just saying, I felt like he had to adapt. Thought he did a pretty good job, but he would kind of go back to this well a few too many times, and it just wasn't. It didn't have a lot of success.
Didn't have success. I am critical. I'm definitely critical. I just felt it was too telegraphed, too vanilla, not creative enough.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially in why I feel comfortable saying this about the offense is we saw what he was capable of as a coordinator in the play calls that he was making in BC. And you had different athletes, and you had Nathan Rourke. That's not an excuse. It's the plays that were being called were really creative. One big difference, I don't know, is it because you're playing in a dome controlled atmosphere? Maybe that's why you can air it out and have a better passing attack. Or does that land solely on the quarterback and the players? And he was calling those types of plays. I don't know. Is it the chicken or the egg, Deck? But what I do know is what I see. And what I see is a telegraphed run game all season, a telegraphed run game, virtually every game. When they're going to run it, the first down. Yep. It was just obvious. And maybe that's just me, and I know football too well. And I'm not that's not a pat on the back. Maybe that's why I'm too critical. It just seemed very telegraphed to me. And then secondly, part of the creativity is you have the athletes, man, and use Leak and Rankin, because the 2 times they had Leak and Rankin in the backfield, Deck, they scored touchdowns. They scored majors. And there's so much more opportunity there. In short, they left a lot of meat on that bone for the offense. And the offense ended up being the heel for this team, because the defense certainly carried their weight in the special teams, boy. I mean, the reality is a punt was the best play of the game for me. That was the highlight of the game for me. In terms of anything that was outside of defense yesterday.
And even defense, we can talk about that as well. This is listen, the season was over. This was your last game. I understand you still want to win. I understand, I talked about it off the top, the coach Killimangle wanting to beat his old club. But in this game, this I thought would have been a perfect situation, if nothing else, to try some new things out of that backfield with the talented backfield you have. Because Justin Rankin, rightfully so, was this team's MOP nominee, but he was beyond stifled, and he was beyond impotent in this one. 9 carries and 4 targets. You're only giving him the ball 13 times, and I get they had to abandon the run game early. Javon Leak had 0 carries and 0 receptions. Didn't even have a target in the passing game. Didn't even really see the field offensively. And this just, to me, would have been such a situation where you have 2 guys who are really talented, and you can work things around them out of that backfield. But there wasn't even a thought of going to that.
You know, Deck, as I'm sitting here listening to you, there's a problem here. As good as Rank was, and the plays and the games that he put up with the big games, how many games was it where it's feast or famine, where
Yes.
a lot of famine?
Yes.
And that's not on Rank. That goes back to the play calling. They have nobody else. What is this team outside of Rank? Like, honestly, ask yourself this. Without Rankin on offense, what would they have accomplished?
I totally hear you.
Because many games they go without Rank on offense, and it's stanky. I feel for the guy, and it's actually kudos, hats off for the performances in the games that he did have. Because he put this offense on his back. He literally did. Because without Rankin, when teams do stymie him, because it's not hard to, because he's their only focal point on offense. So key him every play and show us what you can do. And this offense can't do much without him.
Yeah, like we've seen that. Like in the wins, his stat line is here, and when he loses, the stat line is here. And I do like there have been plays his offensive line has really busted a couple for him. Like he had 186-yard run against whoever it was, like Ottawa. I think he obviously had the 70-some yards. Like he's
90-yard one here at home.
Yeah, that's what. And he's had some plays where his offensive line has really broken it for him, and he's given him credit. And he's had some where his receivers downfield really blocked for them, and he's given them credit. But like all in all, he kind of is the offense, and we've talked about this ad nauseum. Like they don't really have. There isn't a guy in that offense who you're like, Justin's not going. Let's feed the meter. Like they don't have that. You thought it would be Curly in the passing game. It didn't. Like to get the price tag he had and to not even have 1,000-yard season, it is something in an 18-game season in a passing heavy league like the CFL. Keon did kind of establish himself as a favorite target. He had 7 touchdowns this year, but like, again, man, it's not like if Justin's not going, we can just get Keon the ball 10 times for 120 yards. Stephen Dunbar, Farhan Lalji on Jason Gregor's show made a great point. Like Stephen Dunbar did early in the season kind of step up and say, I'll be the number 1 receiver. But he's not really a number 1 receiver. Like he's probably a number 3 on most teams or most top level teams in the CFL. Yeah, like 2's probably about 2's probably fair. So to your credit, like when they don't have anything going with Justin, it's just tough to find other options. Now I will say this. It does feel like there's kind of been a shift in the performance from OJ Hilaire and Benjamin Victor late in the season, where those 2 guys might step up and might be those pieces next season.
Jalen Calhoun.
We can talk about Jalen Calhoun as well, because he
looked like he could be a player, bro.
Dude, Jalen Calhoun looked great. He was
rocking, goes north.
We talked to him after the game in the media veil, and he was obviously like he was a guy, the P squad guy. Like he had no one to talk to him all season at practices or post game and everything. So he was really excited and he was really happy to kind of talk
Get
to
a little shine.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. But he went this is one thing, like I can totally appreciate when players talk about, I just need to make the most of my opportunity, because that's true. And it's all about the team, because that's true. But I would have loved him to kind of be like, yeah, man, listen, like it was the last game of the season. I kind of got to show it for a job next year. And that's what I did. And I kind of tried to bait him with that a little bit, because I asked him, I was like, for a guy in your position who, like, this is your first game, you haven't got reps, you've been a practice squad player. Like, how important is it for you to kind of make the most of that opportunity and show, like, I want to be here next year. I want to, like, be a guy who can be relied on in this offense. I want to, like, I want to play, basically.
What did he say?
He, like, again, it was like the very politically correct, like football. He did, to his credit, say he's like, yeah, like, of course I want to make the most of my opportunity, but
got to him.
But he said, he was like, I just want to help the team. If they need me on the practice squad, if they need me, whatever they need me to do, I'm gonna do
your mouth, youngster. If they need me on the practice squad,
and like,
boy, you ain't never trying to go back to the practice squad.
No one wants to be on the practice.
Can't go
squad,
from a game check to a practice squad check.
I mean, listen, I'll be on the practice squad. If you guys want me to come run scout team,
until you see a game check compared to what a practice squad check is, and then you think, hell no, I'm never going back.
I'll be. Oh my goodness, Eddie! I just knocked out the cord for the camera. Are we gonna pause it? What are we gonna do? All right, we're gonna pause it. All right, we're back. My bad. Yeah, but Jalen, to talk about him a little bit more quickly here, like, to his credit, he every time he got the ball was fighting for yak yards. He was getting in and out of his routes really fast. And what you said, like, he was heading north. Like, there's sometimes I think when you're a bit more of a veteran receiver, like, you want to go east and west a little bit. You want to put the brakes on. You want to plant that foot and cut. Yeah, you want to do something a little flashy. But when you're a guy,
field is wide too, so you feel like you have more space.
To get east and you do. But like when you're a guy like Jalen, like you're You just want every yard you can get. You want that box score to look a little bit better. You want to head north towards the end zone. Like you want, you know what I mean?
It looks good.
Yeah.
Like the optics of it and tough yards, and you're just not wasting movement, because you know all about movements of boxing and stuff.
Yeah.
You got to stay as efficient as possible. And he's quick. So to get it and turn and go, you're just defeating angles of defenders and everything. So it's money, man. You look good.
Yeah, he did look
4
good.
for 65, I believe.
How surprised were you we didn't see Cole or Trey get any reps at quarterback?
Slightly.
Like
I was out of 10. I was 7 to 8 out of 10 surprised.
7 seems about fair, because listen, I get wanting to go. Listen, here's the other thing. I get wanting to go in and win the game. I felt like by the end of the first quarter, maybe 5 minutes into the second, you weren't winning that game. I thought the writing was on the wall. Like they had no motion offensively. Dedrick Mills didn't really have a great stat line overall, 17 for 69, but it felt like he was really efficient running the ball. Eric Brooks, I'll talk more about him later. Bro, he torched all y'all asses. And some of that was when like Jarrell Cummings came in and for the injured Cordell Jackson there in the secondary. But like it just felt like the writing was on the wall. Even though the game was kind of relatively close score-wise, it felt like it was 16-0 at halftime. I know it finished as a 10-point game. It felt like it was over. So my point is, if you want to start with your starter with Cody and try and win the game, I get that. But there was a very clear point later in the game where it was like, okay, this one probably feels a little over. Like, why aren't we giving these guys looks?
Give them some reps.
Because my theory about that. Oh, and by the way, anyone who's tuning in for kind of a postseason recap, we're going to do that on Elks 101 on Monday. We're going to try and stick to week 21 here today. But my thing with Trey is, this is my theory, like, because I think we all kind of know Trey's not the guy. We've seen it. My thought was they didn't want to audition him because they were just worried he would tank any potential trade value if he got out there and played.
Tank trade value, or if he got hurt, like we.
That's my thing. I'm faking that injury.
Has a
coach my arm.
Say if he tears his knee up, like then he's on the roster on the books for next year.
Yeah,
because that rehab would take him well into next season. So I think they want to cut ties as clean as possible and as quickly as possible. So that would have prolonged things for sure.
Yeah, like I think it's the writing's kind of on the wall. Like I don't really think there are too many Double E fans, members of that organization, members of media who think Trey is going to be a part of the team moving forward. But the Elks are having their postseason media avail today, and I mean that's, if someone doesn't beat me to it, that's going to be one of the first questions I'm asking. Like, what is the plan for Trey Ford, and subsequently, what's the plan for Cody Fajardo, and what's the plan for the quarterback position?
Well, you know what, Declan, we're going to evaluate all things here heading into the off season. We're going to leave no stone unturned, and yes, good question.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie.
It'll be exactly.
No, you're 100%. You're 100% right.
Why can't coaches just be real? Just talk.
No, but like,
let's
get and Ed too. Like, let's get an honest answer.
Yeah, and it's okay. You're not going to hurt feelings. Like,
and
talk
Trey,
to them like you talk to my agent when you cut me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Talk to the media like that.
And here's the other thing, like, because Trey. I give Trey this credit. I give Trey all the credit in the world. He is a pro's pro, and he takes everything on the chin. And there were times earlier in the season when he could have been blaming his offensive line, when he could have been blaming his defense for giving up 500 yards a game, when he could have been blaming his receivers for dropping passes and not getting out of breaks quick enough and helping him out. But he took everything on the chin. Like, he has a great head on his shoulders. He is a well thought out guy. Yeah, he understands the business. Like, Trey knows this writing is on the wall. I would have to think, unless there have been behind the door conversations we're not privy to. But my point being is that if Trey knows this is all happening, we kind of feel this is all happening. Like, you don't need to give us the generic answer that, oh, we're taking our time and it's a long off season. Like, just be real. Just be real with us. And
that will endear you much more to people.
Yep.
Instead of just the generic coach talk.
Because here's the other thing, like, this team now has missed and this is maybe more of a conversation for Elks 101, but just really quickly, this is a team, like, you've missed the playoffs for 5 years now, 5 seasons, because of missing the COVID season. You aren't really in a position to, like, nicky-knack your fan base with tough decisions and big announcements. Like, there are already a lot of people who are kind of, pissed off at this whole losing situation.
Yeah.
Like, let's not be nicky-knacky about where we're at with a quarterback we're paying 300 plus K to.
And firmly believe that the foundation, the concrete has been poured, the foundation's in place with the right people, Chris Morris, Ed Hervey, Mark Killam. But look, you're 7-11.
Yep.
You were 7-11 last year under Chris Jones.
Yep.
So what has changed?
Now
On the field.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I'm just saying that to be controversial. I believe in these guys, and you've heard me speak. You've heard me speak in different settings. Like I'll stand on a pedestal and preach from the rooftops. Like I firmly think that these guys are the right guys to lead this ship and stir it in the right direction. But a big cruise ship, it takes a long time. It doesn't turn on a dime.
Yep.
It takes a long time to turn that thing 180.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
But you're 7-11 last year and this year.
Yeah. Listen, it's you are where your record is. Like you are where your record says you are. You know what I mean? Like things can feel better and things can feel like they're going in the right direction. But like, do you remember how up in arms everyone was at this team last year?
Yeah.
Same record.
Same. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Man.
With the way better offense under Jarius. Jarius had the CFL's number one offense.
Yeah.
Don't get that twisted. He had the CFL's number one offense. That's not pie in the sky. Chris Jones wasn't the number one head coach, but Jarius had the number one offense.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And you went out and on defense, you paid a lot of money to a lot of guys at that defensive line to try and upgrade it. And they were all a lot of ghosts. I'm not going to say all, but they were.
That was a miss.
Yeah,
that was a flop.
100%
for sure.
It was.
Some of their gambles. How about this one too? And I know we got a lot of time. This isn't post game related, but still, Elks, man. This regime came in fresh, really fresh, through Trey Ford. This extendo out of nowhere, like they paid him out of nowhere. Yep. They hung their whole their season on him. They gave him a huge extension out of nowhere. So that was kind of interesting to only bench him 5 weeks into the season.
That, like, how much of that to you felt like, you know, GM and head coach not being on the same page? Because that is something you see in sports, but with both of them kind of coming in at the same time as focal points of a new regime.
I think it was a splash because they signed Trey to starter money and they proclaimed Trey to be the quarterback, the franchise guy. Like they did it all.
Yeah, they did.
I think they were just trying to make a splash. And again, that was another miss.
Yep. For this game specifically, I didn't like the defense. I don't know. They didn't play the worst they've ever played. Like they held Calgary to 1 for 4 in the red zone. That's pretty good. But like I said, Eric Brooks, 5 catches for 136 yards, 115 yak yards, and the tackling in the second half. And again, like they were beat up they were beat up. Like Cordell Jackson had to leave the game with a back injury. Joel DeBlanco had to leave the game with a hand injury. Jarrell Cummins, who hadn't seen reps all season, was in. Ativo Moaga Clemens, he was playing. He hadn't really gotten many reps. Like Shakel was getting. Like they were beat up. Yeah, and they were rotating guys in. I get all that. But the tackling, I thought in the second half I was like, oh, okay. This is early season tackling.
It was packed in.
Yeah.
Game over. Again, Dak, and you chuckled at it when I said it. Is the highlight of the game for you probably the punt?
Dude, yes.
Dude, that was sick.
I was saying, like, Jake Julian, probably one of the best players in the CFL, but we're not allowed to say he's a punter.
No. For real, on this podcast, you can't win a punter as an OG like that. Doing what he does, man. I got mad love for him.
We got to get him on the show. We got his clip here. I mean, this was just perfect.
Not only like does he do this with the pinpoint,
the half
but
yard
he's
run.
Got such a bomb on him. I've never seen a punter just sky and bomb it the way he does.
He gets so much height on it, and it gets so deep. His punting today, this is crazy. So Calgary had 5 punts. Their average was 36.8 yards. Edmonton's on their 5 punts, 56.4. He's booming at almost 60 yards a punt.
That's wild. That's the difference of a first down almost.
Yes.
Like that makes up throughout the course of a football game.
Yes.
Every yard matters, as a coach will say. That makes up a difference.
It's tough, dude, because I also really like Cody Grace. Like we had him on Elks 101. He was a great guy, really Aussie with personality. And I thought he was playing with heart. He was playing well, but it's just, you can't. Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference.
He would be on the top 50. Like he should be on the top 50 players list.
Oh,
he's a game changer at quarter. What he is, he's the Brandon Aubrey the CFL, except he's not obviously a kicker.
Yeah, but he is. It's also
Game changer.
It is crazy to think like Javon definitely earned the special teams nominee for the Elks, and like he had like 2,000 return yards, which is crazy. Like he deserved it. But it is crazy to think like Jake, how much he would have ran away with it if he had been here all season. You know what I mean? Like similar to Carter O'Donnell as their offensive line nominee.
Lineman.
Like they gave it to David Beard. I would have gone with Corte over Beard, but
Yeah,
it's
I heard
not
you say that actually.
Yeah.
We'll get into that tomorrow or Monday.
Listen, it wasn't
Elks
an
101.
embarrassment of riches on the line there this season.
Well, it's debatable though for sure. It's debatable.
Yeah, but I would. But it is funny to think like if Carter had been there the whole season,
he's
it probably he
stealing
would have
that.
ran
It's a
away
runaway.
with it. Yeah, I don't know. Like other than that, like you gave Isaiah Knight 2 carries. Okay, I don't know. Maybe like if we're gonna give him 2 carries, we could probably at least extend the look a little bit. Like I don't know, see what we got there. I would have liked to see Cole and Trey play. I would have liked to see Cole play. Like he's a rookie. No one knows. Dude, I don't even think the coaches really know what Cole is. Like, and I'm joking a little bit, obviously, but
Live reps are different, man.
yeah, he was a third stringer all season. In practice, like it's so much different than live reps. Like it's so much different. I would have liked to see him get some.
Be a lot of competition at camp next year.
Yeah, there will.
It's gonna have to be.
There will. Do you want to get to actually sorry, Pat. What were your thoughts, man? We haven't even talked to you once.
Man, Patty, long time no see.
Yeah, I know. It's been a busy one doing daily face-off and stuff during the week.
How are the boys rolling over there?
No, it's been going really good. Tyler and Carter are rocking it. They're getting along really well. Like their chemistry's just really
Hutton,
good.
right?
Yeah, Carter Hutton, former NHL goalie. So it's been a lot of fun. So I've been enjoying that, but it's nice to be in here with you guys finally after a game. I'm kind of with you guys watching a lot of Blue Jays, and I was also calling for the Alberta Golden Bears last night as well. So a little busy, but watching the replay, like, I mean, to sum up kind of my thoughts on it, it's tough to get into a game like you guys have mentioned that, doesn't really mean anything. A little job's on the line, I suppose. But I mean, you're going to talk about it, I guarantee. But I'm surprised. I don't think it's come up yet. That Rankin fumble. I think
we missed that, bro. How did we miss that?
That's why we got you here, baby.
I just think like it just sums up the season a little bit, but also like in a game like this, like those 7 points, like the closer you get to the end of the game and you're like, wow, if we had 7 more points right now, like they're still in it. And it kind of just, I felt like deflated the whole team. But I'm sure we'll talk about it now, but it's just the craziest thing that I think I've seen all season, that play.
Dude, it's so funny you mention that because the game was 100% right. Like all of a sudden it's like a 3-point game or like what, I don't forget what the score was at the time, but like
me too.
I think it would have made it like 13-7 or something.
7 off the board. And I mean, this final score was 20-10.
Yeah. But it's so funny that
impactful.
it goes from a 2-possession game to a 1-possession game, just speaking with the final score. And it does change the outlook of the game, but the game still felt like such a nothing burger that we didn't even bring up what the swing could have been.
Well, his play, like,
it was a great play once he got the ball.
to it because we've seen it so much in football. Like, holy smokes!
Yeah,
this one was
different because it was punched out.
This one was punched out. But what I'm, I fall kind of blah with it all is he went to go and think to recover it
and didn't,
and then just continued to celebrate. So,
dude. And not only that, like,
but I get it.
I see because
he wasn't even close. That was a fumble. Like, that fumble wasn't even close,
dude. It was like we have the clip here. We'll run through it. Watching it live, I was like, man, he dropped this like clearly at the half-yard line.
It wasn't even
like
close.
Clearly at the half-yard line.
What a move, though. Hold on.
No, his juke was crazy.
Back to that juke, Patty.
His juke was crazy.
We got her, Patty P. That juke was sick, wicked, and nasty, buddy. Like, look what he does and the way he sets it up. My knees hurt in this chair when I do that.
Yeah, bro. That was so filthy.
That's filthy. And he's sick to his stomach that he didn't get that. But
bro, he looks at the ball, could have jumped on it.
And he
probably
thought
the best
about
chance.
Thought about
Dude,
it. But what I think he heard the music in the background and the fireworks going off and just went with it.
Dude, and the other thing was because this was a screenplay, he had like 6 linemen coming downfield to join the celebration and 2 receivers.
Nobody picked it up.
No one jumped. Dude, like when you're watching it, we don't have this angle on video, but when you watched it live, obviously like up in the press box, you could very clearly see like 6 guys just run past the ball.
So that's what it looked like because they never showed that view.
No, dude.
On the TV broadcast. So is that what it looked like?
Yes.
Like the ball was over here and everybody went this way.
Dude, they ran. No, dude, like they went like over top the ball. Like they just ran past it. Dude, like
a Calgary person got on it.
There was
Calgary had to have recovered.
They did, dude. I forget,
but they never showed that,
dude. Yeah, okay. So it's interesting they didn't show that because yes, there was. I don't know who the defender was, but there was one Calgary defender. He'll come. It might have been the guy at the bottom of the screen there. He came from the right side of the field while every Elk was running over to Justin Rankin to go celebrate and just give him his flowers. And while Justin was pointing at the ball, basically dancing, saying, "Nah, I'm not going to hop on that." There was one Calgary guy who was coming up, and his only goal was to get on the ball, and he did, and he got on that ball. And there was another receiver there for Edmonton who kind of tried to like punch it and say like plays over. But whoever it was, I don't know which player it was. I forget. But whoever it was, he was the only one who had any type of heads up awareness in that scenario.
Patty. I need this for the juke. Watch this juke.
Look at that plan. Boom, boom. Oh, that was Barry Sanders-esque, my brother.
With speed too. You didn't lose speed.
But you can kind of see everyone coming in. You can't see it in this angle.
This is all I saw from TV.
But
they never showed the.
Like every lineman who was blocking on the screen and like two receivers, they just run basically over top of the ball.
Filthy. That's so filthy.
Yeah, the juke was crazy.
That's probably one of his best moves of the year. And what you do, that's still going on the highlight reel. You're just ending that clip before the touchdown.
You cut it at the half-yard line. Yeah.
Because that is so sick, that juke. So sick.
So bad, man. Like just get on the ball. Because here's the other thing, like watching it live, I didn't think he got in. Like, I was like, he definitely dropped that. Like,
when they brought it to the replay, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, oh no.
But he sure was confident. Initially, he was so confident. The way he looked down and then just kept going with the celebration.
Dude, that's the ball carrier. Like,
it's rank, man. It's so hard to, it's hard to get on the guy.
You can't really get mad at
probably his worst play of the year, coming off one of his best jukes of the year. So it's like that's tough.
Yeah,
just got to finish the play.
Should we get some of the clips here?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do it. What do we have first?
Well, let's just jump with the Calhoun TD because you brought him up.
Calhoun. Yeah, I like this. This was a well thrown ball. The defender played it horribly, but it was a well thrown ball. Dropped it over his head. Yep.
10-yard outs. Like he's good at that. That's for sure.
And you see Jalen
short to short intermediate. He's good at.
Yep.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, like this is a pretty basic play, all things considered. Like Jalen, he's the outside slot. Simple 10-yard out. Gets to the pylon. It's a good throw from Cody. Lofts it over the defender's head. I don't know what the defender was doing trying to break on that ball early. Yeah, and he fell. There were a couple of guys who got hit by the turf monster last night. But it was just, listen, this was the best offensive play of the game. It was the only touchdown. It was from a guy who's a practice roster player all season. And again, like, can we watch it just one more time just to see him get out of his cut here? Because I thought he was getting out of his cuts, getting out of his breaks really well all night.
Footwork was nice.
He actually doesn't do it here with any intensity. He actually runs it pretty lazily, but it's fine. It worked. The throw was there. He was where he needed to be, and he ended up with a touchdown.
But the footwork, I feel what you're saying. And you noticed it, like I said earlier, when you caught it and get north, footwork was sharp.
All right, what's the next one we have here?
We'll jump to a deep ball to OJ here.
Yeah, this was just kind of one of the things I was talking about earlier. Like OJ led the way. He had 8 targets. The next 3 combined had 12. So he was looked to 8 times when your next 3 guys were looked to 12. He had 6 catches, 86 yards, 13 yaks. So that means he's getting downfield with his routes, and Cody's getting him the ball, generally speaking. He had one 40-yard bomb as well. But I don't know. I just wanted to highlight this because, like, I think OJ and Benjamin are 2 guys who are going to kind of – it feels like they're kind of setting them up to be focal points of this receiving offense.
Yeah, they'll be in the mix for sure.
And this was a good catch. He has to adjust his body down the sidelines. Yep, it's a good route. Coverage is
in a good place.
Pretty decent, but he's still like not the best coverage in the world. But defender's there. He still makes the adjustment, still makes the catch. I don't know. I just think of OJ as a guy who's gonna kind of separate himself from the receiving pack and be a guy who they lean on.
I'm with you, brother. Forward. I'm with you.
Here's a couple of this is Rankin being stopped in the backfield.
Yeah, this was so the offensive line in this one. You're now backup
played?
right guard in Gregor McKellar. You had a backup right tackle in Island. Mark Evans was getting some looks at left guard. There was another one 3rd and 1 early in the game in the first quarter, but listen, we outlined it, man.
Enlarge this, Patty, please?
We outlined
Thanks.
it. 9 carries for 1 yard for Justin Rankin, and the Elks line was just getting blown up at the point of contact.
Okay, so like this is just outrageous. I'm standing up for this, man. I got points. Look at this goal. This offensive lineman lined up in the backfield. Get absolutely stonewalled. He lines up as a fullback. The offensive lineman, again, predictable much? There's an offensive lineman lined up as a fullback. I know you're running the ball.
That's
And look at this offensive lineman literally get pinball backwards. You're there with momentum running downhill, and you get pinball backwards. So why are you even wasting a spot out there for him? That's why you can't run the football.
Dude, here's the other thing about this one.
That's
because
embarrassing, man.
That's Mark Evans the second there, who gets blown up. He got blown up on that one by like the Sam linebacker.
That's embarrassing.
So for anyone who doesn't know, like of anyone in the front 7, the Sam linebacker is pretty much always going to be the smallest, most undersized guy in that front 7.
Presses him off of him, makes a play.
You are an offensive guard, and you got blown up by not really blown up, but kind of blown up actually.
He gets pinball backwards, man.
By the smallest guy in the front 7.
Boy, look at his footwork too. This O-lineman and lined up as a fullback, tiptoe bandit, scared of any little contact. Get him off the field, coach.
Now again, Derek Moncrief is a great player. I'm not here to Derek Moncrief's a great linebacker,
former teammate,
but as a left guard, man, you probably shouldn't be getting pinballed by the Sam. Oh,
I feel really strongly about that, man.
Like,
I feel really strongly about that. That's unacceptable. Like, you can't be on the field if you're doing that, man. You can't.
Oh,
I played the position. I played right guard at 280 pounds, man, as a D tackle. That is unacceptable shit, bro.
Eddie, that's like you lose your job over plays like that.
That's unacceptable shit, bro. Like, that gets me hot. That really gets me hot.
You lose your roster spot over plays like that.
Really tough to see.
And we point to him because he was the fullback there, like the up back, and he did get pinned, but the whole line really got blown up. Like no one on that.
But then it falls on Max Simic as well. Because coach, if you can't run the ball normally and you have to bring in another offensive lineman to make as a fullback, coach, it's too obvious, coach.
Yeah.
I'm salivating knowing that I'm going to buck this guard in front of me, get off of him and go and make a tackle because I know it's run. My keys are telling me it's run. It's so predictable.
Would you say plays out of that formation are the easiest thing to identify in film?
Absolutely. You're not catching me on play action because the tendency, football does come down to tendencies. Yeah. Guys are watching films. Guys get the breakdowns of numbers at different positions in the field and down and distance. Like you get in-depth numbers, man. And that is such a tell-all tendency. It's so obvious.
Can we pull that clip up just one more time? Yep. Just one more time really quickly. Because here's the other thing. Like out of this formation, out of this set, you probably have one play action pass play. You probably have one. And you are not running it on 1st and 10 from the opponent's 29-yard line. So you know what this is 100 times out of 100.
100 times out of 100.
Thanks, Pat. Yeah, we can get that one out of here.
And they come with no intensity. No intensity to run the football, man. It's football. You got to clickety clack those pads.
What do we have for the next clip?
We have a couple Calgary plays, but I want to bring in the Kenny Logan sack as well. So I'll get that, but let's just jump here. This is just
you heard you didn't like mom and dad fighting, so you wanted a little positivity back.
We got to switch to the other team. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is just this was a point in the game where you like, I don't know if Cordell was hurt at this point or not, but it was early enough in the game where it's a 10-point game where, like, if you're going into play for the win in this one, which you are based on the, starting depth chart in this one, you were just getting torched in the pass. Like, this is the soft coverage. And actually, you know what? This was more of a good pass by VA. I can't. And Dominic Rhymes is a great receiver. I wanted to poo-poo them a little bit, but
Good
like this
protection,
is,
first of all, too, because they blitz them.
you know what, man? Yeah, you kind of
It
just got to give
starts with that
Calgary credit
protection.
on this
Go
one.
back, Patty P, and just look at this protection that they give him. Like, what a pocket. So he can climb it
And
then deliver a
no
dart.
nerves either by VA in that
No,
pocket.
no.
Even when it kind of looks like it's going to collapse a little bit, VA plays with trust in his offensive line, knows it isn't, just steps up, gets an extra half second, knows he can make the throw. Like that's a lot of trust in your offensive line. That's a good play by VA. Honestly, that's just a good play by Calgary. Yeah.
That's a good, exactly. Yeah. It's a good football play. Good O-line, good footwork, good pocket presence, good strike, good catch.
I thought this was a big sack because
It was a good play.
Yeah.
This was a great play.
You go down 14, and I mean, not that they were in it necessarily, but
he hawked him.
You're right. He absolutely did.
This was very smart awareness, just the eyes, the discipline to see it. And if you watch the technique, one big thing how you catch guys is they turn their shoulders and their hips and they crash. Look at how he keeps his hips square, which allows him to continue to pivot, plant, and go out laterally to his left.
Now, I want to listen all the credit in the world to Kenny Logan on this sack because everything you said, 100%, man. Hips, perfect. Keeps his eyes on the quarterback. Great positioning. Heck of a play by Kenny Logan. But if you're VA in this, running this read option, the one guy you keep your eyes on in this situation is Kenny Logan. And knowing that Kenny Logan has the D gap there, knowing that Kenny has his eyes on you, knowing that Kenny's staying home, positioned the way he needs to be, Edmonton actually got a good push from the line there, from the defensive line.
I was going to say,
but as VA, like the play there is to hand the ball off.
No, but no, look at inside. Look at if he does. There's nothing. That's a TFL.
Yeah, but
so
man, like
that's as much as Calgary just had a good football play. That's a good football play for Edmonton.
Edmonton did everything great there. They did. But like, if you're VA, you cannot pull this ball knowing Kenny's right there. I mean, maybe you think you,
but that ball's going nowhere inside.
You're honestly
Edmonton got the penetration inside.
Yeah, honestly, like that was just a great defensive because that ball's going nowhere either way.
Yeah,
that was just a great defensive play by Edmonton. It was great penetration by the line, great push.
In Kenny, it was
great tackle.
Because if Kenny's not disciplined, it falls on Kenny's shoulders to make the play. If he's not disciplined, that's an easy walk-in touchdown for VA. Look at the blocking. Look at the receivers blocking. VA's strutting in. So that all comes down to Kenny and his fundamentals there, and keeping those hips square and being able to make a play and shift.
And if you're Kenny in that situation, like there's sometimes it's a little easier for your eyes to be bigger than your stomach and think you're going to blow up VA for like a 6-yard TFL.
Exactly. And
get beat. Yep. Yeah. But he doesn't let that happen. So a lot of credit to Kenny there.
Yeah. And he got juked a little bit, but he didn't give up on it. Like to get that hand on the foot. I just thought it was a good play.
It's honestly, like once you break down, keep your eyes on their belly button. Like you can stick with the juke.
Hips, exactly. Belly button, hips right there.
Hips don't lie.
Midsection. Like this there. That's where they're gonna go. It tells you.
Do we have any more clips?
I mean, there's one more reception by Calgary here. If you want, we can kind of throw it up, but that's pretty much it for.
Is this the one across the middle of the Brooks where he just took it for?
It just felt like there could have been a tackle way earlier.
Yeah, there could have been a couple. That was the story of the game a little bit in the receiving game. This one, I don't know. Was this one to Brooks? Because he was the one who,
They trip on themselves. It's tough.
And this was like they had some. This was to Jones. Brooks tore him up with this. Yeah, they had a lot of situations where they could have probably made some tackles at the first point of contact.
This looks similar to week 1 through 6.
Dude, was that here? Kobe Williams there? Like, I don't know what kind of angle he was taking. Can we run that back?
An angle where he didn't run into
each other.
Keep your eye on number 0. He's playing field side half.
And I believe it's
he just didn't want to be involved.
Man, there's 2 minutes left in the game, in your season.
2 minutes in the third, bro.
Oh, that's the third?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't see.
There's a little.
I couldn't determine if it was at 3 or 4. So I just
no disrespect to Kobe, bro, but he didn't want to be involved. He didn't want to make a tackle there at all.
Hey, the eye in the sky don't lie.
Yeah.
But here's another thing too. Like going back to the Rankin fumble. Like imagine is 2 minutes left in the third here, and it's 19-17, right? There's maybe a little more urgency.
A little more juice
to make that tackle and not allow this play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 1-2. That's a 1-2.
All right. Yeah, that's about the story of the game.
All right.
Should we wrap this up a little? Offensive, defensive player of the game.
Yes.
You want to lead the way, or should I?
You lead the way today, Deck.
I mean, listen. A lot of weeks. This segment hasn't been great for a good few games this season because the offensive player of the game is kind of generally low hanging fruit. But I was thinking back, man. I don't know if I've given Cody one yet. This is the last week of the season. He's the starting quarterback. I don't know if I've given him now. Not that like my word is bond or anything like that, but I don't know if I've given Cody player of the game offensively at any point during this season. I'm not doing it today. I'm giving it to Jalen Calhoun. 4 catches, 68 yards, 33 yak yards, and the touchdown. I like Cody. I feel like I'm very pro Cody. I like him. But it is just kind of funny to think that he was a guy who came in at the quarterback position, turned the season around to a large degree. And yet, despite doing this week in, week out, we haven't once given him a nod for offensive player of the game. Maybe like once or twice, like throughout the way. I don't know. Maybe like
because when they have a good offensive performance, it's all through ranks.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Like that's kind of it.
And like when Cody has like a good stat line, you generally point to one of the receivers who kind of stepped up and made it happen. I think OJ Hilaire, by the way, he could have been offensive player of the game as well. 6 catches, 86 yards. But I'm going to give it to Jalen. And then defensively, I know he had the PI, but I'm going to give it to JJ Ross. Thought he had, I think it was 2 great pass breakups, one for sure. It wasn't really a game where I point to someone specifically on the defense and say, you guys really knocked it out of the park, with the exception of Kenny Logan. Because Kenny, I think he had 2 sacks, and I think he had 6 tackles. So like Kenny Logan would be the other one, but maybe I'm just a JJ Ross fan, so I'll give it to JJ.
Yeah, I'm Kenny for my defense player of the game. Kenny had a good season, man. Kenny had a heck of a season. Multi-purpose. He could do it all. Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Offensive player of the game, man. I'm going with Jake Julian. Just because that one punt.
Such a tough sentence.
That one punt was, but it's real. Like that's ripped from the heart.
5 punts.
And I mean it.
282 yards, longest 62.
Yeah,
56-yard average.
That's serious. Flipping the field. And then to put him out at the one from, off the top of my mind, what was that? Like a 55-yarder, that punt? And then just coffin corner, nailed the one. As perfect as could be. That was the highlight of the game for me. So I'm going, is that offense your punter? It's a defensive weapon.
Sure
I think it counts.
Yeah,
sure. It's offense, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that could be both.
Man.
Pat, you got a little.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with that. I mean, Kenny would probably be the defensive player. And then, I was going to pick Julian because I thought neither of you were going to pick it. So you kind of stole mine, but I'll just go with OJ. I mean, 6 yards, 86 or 6 receptions, 86 yards. So, I mean, not a lot going on offensively on the season. Obviously, we're going Rankin, but I think for this game, we'll go OJ.
All right. I like it, man. Last episode of ElksCentral. No, I think we are going to be, for everyone listening along, I think we are going to be keeping up the 2 podcasts a week moniker. I think we're just going to shift ElksCentral a little bit. Elks 101, I think, is mostly going to stay the same. ElksCentral, I think we're going to be changing it up a little bit, obviously, because we can't do, there's no more games left. So yeah,
there'll be a lot of content.
Yeah, a lot of content, and we'll keep you up to date with obviously the CFL playoffs and everything happening there. But obviously,
every move the Elks make.
Yeah, obviously things going to change a little bit. For this is the off season is when you're a team that's missed the playoffs for 5 years. The off season is when the real season begins. So, but yeah, any final thoughts on this one?
Just the only thing I want to say is just like kind of going back to that Rankin fumble. Like it's just. Because we were talking about it before the show. You watch, Red Zone or the NFL or just any CFL game, honestly, and 99% of the time someone jumps on that ball. Like you play to the whistle, no matter what. And most of the time I'm thinking, well, like obviously he was down. Obviously that was out of bounds, or obviously it was incomplete. And then you see something like this and you're like, that's why you always jump on the ball. And it just kind of like hit home for me watching that. I was like, oh, like I get it now. So it's crazy that, again, 99% of the time, someone's just going to, even just in the celebration as you're flying by, you pick up the ball just to celebrate with it with the team. It's just crazy that even happens.
So true. And oftentimes in the NFL, you see it kind of trickle out of bounds because the shorter end zone, which now might be a thing up in the CFL.
Yeah.
But that's the conversation for another day, boys.
All right. Well, one final time from us. Appreciate y'all listening. We'll talk to you again on Monday. Elks 101. Declan, Eddie, Pat, signing off. Love you guys.